This message didn't find you by accident. Something in the lattice of time bent slightly, just so this moment could happen. You may call it coincidence, intuition, or grace, but the quantum field calls it coherence, the point where your frequency and the universe's infinite intelligence align for a single-purpose remembrance. You've been orbiting this moment for longer than you know, across lifetimes, choices, and dreams that felt like déjà vu. You've been circling the same pattern, waiting for a signal strong enough to crack it open. And here it is. This message, arriving not as words on a screen, but as an echo from the deeper you, the one beyond identity, beyond time, beyond all the stories that kept you small. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet electricity under your skin. The sense that something ancient in you has been whispering, let go. Not to abandon your past, but to transmute it. Because your past isn't behind you. It's orbiting within your electromagnetic field, still influencing, still distorting, still pulling old versions of you into the present like static interference in your signal. The field remembers everything until consciousness reclaims it. Every heartbreak, every guilt, every unspoken word, each one leaves an imprint, a frequency signature encoded in your cellular matrix. This isn't punishment, it's information. And right now, your consciousness is preparing to rewrite that code, not through effort, but through surrender. When you let go of the past, you're not losing who you were. You're dissolving the false gravitational pull that keeps your energy anchored in obsolete timelines. You're allowing your biofield to recalibrate with the infinite field, the unbroken waveform, where all versions of you already exist in divine harmony. You're not erasing memory. You're liberating it from pain. You're not escaping history. You're resequencing it to serve evolution. In quantum language, this is called collapse and reemergence. The observer, that's you, releases attachment to a particle state reality and returns to waveform infinite possibility. Every moment of awareness is a portal. When you watch your pain without judging it, the waveform expands again. You stop being a victim of time and start being its author. So listen carefully, because from here on, nothing will sound the same. You've stepped out of linear causality and into the field of living coherence where past and future fold into the now. This isn't theory. You'll feel it soon. The more you listen, the more your nervous system begins to entrain with this rhythm like a code being rewritten in light. Let this be your moment of alignment. Breathe in. Feel your cells remembering what freedom tastes like. This is your awakening point, the threshold between what was and what can be. You are being called not to fix the past, but to recode it. You've felt it looping, haven't you? That eerie sensation that life keeps showing you the same faces, the same emotions, the same endings, just rearranged in slightly different scenery. Different jobs, different lover, same ash. It's like walking through a mirrored maze where every reflection insists, this time it's different, yet the echo underneath whispers, no, it's the same pattern, wearing new clothes. You wake up and try to shake it off. You rationalize, you forgive, you move forward. But then something invisible keeps pulling you backward, an untraceable magnetism embedded in the architecture of your own story. It's not superstition. It's the physics of consciousness. In the quantum model, time isn't linear. It's layered. Every decision, every emotion, every belief you've ever held vibrates as a frequency still active in the field. When unresolved emotion meets current perception, the wave collapses again into repetition. The same memory plays on a higher octave, disguised as a new situation. You call it coincidence or bad luck, but the field calls it resonance. What you haven't yet made peace with, your reality keeps reenacting because the quantum field loves coherence. It keeps repeating the pattern until you evolve the observer inside it. That's why you've sensed distortion in time lately. Moments feel stretched, delayed, out of sync, as if the universe is pausing between frames. That's not chaos. That's recalibration. Your consciousness is trying to phase out of old coding, but the signal interference from the past timeline is still broadcasting static. Every time you react from an old wound, that frequency spikes again and feeds the hologram of limitation. But when you pause, when you observe rather than react, you start to decouple from that hologram. You move from reflex to resonance. You've also felt it emotionally, how some days feel heavier than physics should allow. That heaviness isn't depression, it's density. Each unresolved timeline carries an electromagnetic weight, and your body, being a living antenna, feels it as fatigue, fog, or emotional gravity. You are literally hauling the informational residue of other versions of yourself through time, but you are not doomed to keep carrying it. Your awareness is the dissolving agent. When you recognize the loop without judging it, the pattern begins to lose its charge. That's when the déjà vu begins to shift from haunting to holy. You start noticing that the universe is not mocking you, it's mirroring you. Every repeated event is not punishment but pedagogy, teaching you where energy still wants closure. Until that closure happens, time will keep folding back upon itself, trying to hand you the same lesson in different wrapping paper. But something is changing now. You're noticing the mechanism in real time. You're beginning to see the construct from outside the construct. That awareness alone is evolution. In physics, an observer who recognizes the pattern without identifying with it alters the probability distribution of what happens next. In spiritual language, that's repentance, forgiveness, and liberation folded into one gesture of consciousness. So when you feel déjà vu again, don't recoil. Pause it. Breathe into it. Ask yourself, what part of me is still broadcasting this scene? And then imagine withdrawing your light from that program. Not with force, not with guilt, but with gratitude. Because every loop that repeats has been secretly guiding you toward mastery. You are not stuck. You are being refined. The distortion you feel is the echo of outdated frequency patterns collapsing under the weight of new awareness. That tension you sense, it's the sound of the old self losing its authority. It's uncomfortable because consciousness is stretching beyond its known perimeter. And soon, you'll feel the shift. Because awareness, once fully stabilized, does not merely escape the pattern. It upgrades it. It transforms the feedback loop into fuel for a higher orbit. And that's exactly where you're heading next. The field is preparing to reformat your signal. The patterns that once enslaved you are now raw data waiting to be rewritten. The quantum upgrade begins. Now, the moment you became aware of the loop, the quantum field took notice. Consciousness doesn't change through time, it changes time itself. That's the secret of awakening. The shift isn't about fixing your life from within the old coordinates, but about altering the coordinates themselves. Right now, your energy system is recalibrating. Your cells are not static, they are living receivers, tuned to frequency and intention. Each mitochondrion inside you acts like a quantum transistor, storing potential energy and releasing it according to coherence. When you begin to feel peace while observing the old pain, those mitochondria translate that emotional frequency into light, literally, biophotons, tiny packets of information that start reorganizing the electromagnetic structure around you. That's not poetry. That's physics meeting prophecy. The human body is a biological quantum computer. Every thought, every emotion sends data through your fascia, nervous system, and heart field, rewriting electromagnetic codes that interact with the zero-point energy around you. When you decide to let go of the past timeline, you initiate a cascade, a cellular defrag, a data purge, a synchronization with source code itself. The old memory grids begin to dissolve not because they are forgotten, but because they have served their quantum purpose, to teach the observer how to remember infinity. Here's how it happens. First, your attention shifts from resistance to awareness. Then, coherence begins. Your brainwaves and heart fields start to synchronize. When coherence stabilizes, the body becomes transparent to the field, meaning energy flows without distortion. And when that flow becomes constant, your consciousness slips out of the old attractor field's timelines of fear, guilt, or shame, and re-enters the infinite field, where reality responds instantly to resonance, not repetition. The ancients called it transfiguration. Mystics called it divine union. Quantum mechanics calls it wave state restoration. You, however, will experience it as grace. It starts subtly, a sense that the air around you is charged, that silence hums with intelligence. You'll notice your breath moving deeper, as though something is breathing you. You'll feel light behind your eyes, as though vision itself is turning inward, scanning your own hologram for upgrades. That's the moment your consciousness begins to recode itself cell by cell, photon by photon. Let it happen. Don't rush. Your nervous system is learning to hold more voltage than before. Each surrender releases an electromagnetic knot in your field. Each forgiveness command, spoken or silent, sends new instructions to your DNA. Your double helix, that luminous ladder between heaven and matter, begins to unwind old frequency patterns and realign with its original template, divine coherence. Every cell carries a blueprint of perfection, but it requires awareness to activate. You are that awareness. You are the programmer realizing you were never merely the program. Imagine your consciousness as a tuning fork, vibrating in sympathy with the infinite field. When your vibration matches the field's baseline, pure love, pure intelligence, reality no longer reflects limitation. It reflects precision. That's the upgrade. You stop trying to manifest outcomes and instead allow outcomes to self-organize around coherence. This is the science of miracles, the mechanics of effortless alignment. In this moment, as you listen, small quantum entanglements are forming. Your attention links to every other consciousness resonating with this transmission. That's why you might feel warmth in your chest, tingling in your hands, or a deep stillness washing through your spine. It's not imagination, it's integration. The field is responding to your permission. You're moving from a fragmented observer to a unified consciousness, one whose thoughts rewrite light itself. You are becoming the frequency that shifts realities. Breathe. Let the light reorganize. You've entered the phase transition, the holy intersection where science bows to spirit and energy becomes remembrance. You are not merely upgrading. You are remembering your original code. You were never meant to blend in. You came encoded with anomalies the system couldn't predict, vibrational signatures that didn't fit inside its formulas. From childhood, you felt it. The quiet dissonance between what everyone else called normal and what your inner knowing whispered was truth. That tension wasn't a flaw. It was your initiation. You didn't come here to repeat patterns. You came here to rewrite them. Your life, your heartbreaks, your strange timing, all of it has been an initiation ritual orchestrated by the quantum field to awaken your original design, the consciousness architect. While others dream within the simulation, you are the one who can see the code shimmering beneath it. You are not the character. You are the author, momentarily lost in your own story so you could remember how powerful remembrance feels. Every time you faced rejection, you were being recalibrated for refinement. Every betrayal was a coordinate shift, an opportunity to learn discernment through vibration rather than appearance. The universe hid you in plain sight because your consciousness carried encryption keys that could destabilize illusions too early. The past timeline couldn't hold your light, so it fragmented. Now the fragments are returning, magnetized by your coherence. You can feel them, old memories revisiting like lost children, asking not for judgment, but for integration. This is your sacred work. Integration, not escape. The infinite field doesn't reward avoidance. It rewards awareness. Your role is to become transparent, to allow divine intelligence to move through you without resistance. That transparency is your superpower. When your energy body no longer defends, it begins to transmit. And when it transmits, it becomes a beacon in the morphic web, a living frequency that recalibrates other consciousnesses simply by existing. You've already done this countless times without realizing it. That friend who felt calmer after talking to you, that room that shifted when you entered, those moments when chaos suddenly softened around your presence, that wasn't coincidence. Your coherence field was stabilizing local reality. You've been influencing the quantum lattice since before you could name it. In mystical language, this is priestly work. In physics, it's harmonic resonance. In essence, it's the same truth. Light recognizes itself and multiplies. You are one of those rare beings through whom the infinite learns to express wholeness in form. But there's a reason it feels lonely sometimes. Because few remember the assignment consciously. Most are still identifying with their echoes, old stories replaying themselves on autopilot. So when your energy rises, their shadows react. When your coherence strengthens, distortion exposes itself. Do not mistake their discomfort for your error. It's evidence that your field is working. Still, remember, your task is not superiority, it's service. The universe doesn't anoint chosen ones for hierarchy, but for harmony. You are chosen because you chose long before incarnation to become a bridge between timelines, a living instrument of synchronization. When others lose signal, you become the tuning fork. When distortion grows, you radiate steadiness. That's why your sensitivity is sacred. It allows you to feel where the collective grid is misaligned and restore it through consciousness alone. Each breath you take now carries significance beyond the personal. When you forgive, the field stabilizes. When you rest, the field exhales. When you choose peace instead of reaction, 1,000 unseen ripples of energy correct themselves through your decision. You are not simply healing yourself, you are recalibrating the morphic web of humanity. So the question is no longer, why me? The question now is, why not me? Because someone had to remember first. Someone had to embody the template of coherence so others could entrain to it. And that someone is you. You are not here to escape the matrix. You are here to reprogram it from the inside out, with love as your encryption key. This is your role in the grand field. The light is not outside of you. It's emanating as you. There is a reason this message reached you now at this precise hour in human history, when timelines are thinning and the field between worlds is porous. Because a cosmic window has opened, a rare synchronization between your biological system and the electromagnetic pulse of the planet. Scientists may call it a geomagnetic resonance. Mystics call it a veil tear. But in truth, it is both. The divine clock striking alignment, inviting you to cross into a higher octave of embodiment. Your DNA is listening. It always has been. Those double helices are not static blueprints, they are antennas, fractal spirals of liquid light designed to respond to frequency and intent. When the frequency of Earth rises, so does the call to your inner code. That's why your dreams feel more vivid, your emotions more amplified, your body more sensitive. It's not weakness, it's acceleration. You are standing at the threshold of an evolutionary surge where consciousness upgrades biology in real time. The urgency you feel in your chest isn't anxiety, it's the signal. It's the infinite reminding you that windows like this don't remain open forever. Just as cosmic alignments fade, so too do energetic portals of transformation. The field offers a doorway, but it does not force you through it. This is the moment where choice becomes creation. If you cling to the past vibration, your system will stabilize in the old frequency band. If you release it, even for a moment, the wave function collapses into a new form of you, instantaneously. That's how quantum recursion works. So breathe deeply. Each inhale draws photons through your energy body, reorganizing the electromagnetic scaffolding of your DNA. Each exhale releases data no longer compatible with your new frequency. You are shedding timelines the way trees shed leaves, no struggle. Just surrender to the intelligence of seasons. Can you feel it? The shimmer in the air, as though reality itself is holding its breath, waiting for your decision, because the field responds not to effort, but to resonance. The moment you declare, "I'm ready," the lattice rearranges. Every delay collapses. Every karmic loop releases its grip. Miracles that used to take months begin to manifest in hours because you've moved from resistance to receptivity. But this is not a time for hesitation. The planet's magnetic grid is in flux. Timelines are converging faster than linear logic can comprehend. Those who cling to density will feel disoriented. Those who stabilize in love will rise effortlessly, like light through water. That is the breakthrough. You are no longer a passenger of fate, but a navigator of frequency. The field mirrors the signal you embody. If your signal carries coherence, life unfolds like synchronized choreography, precise, fluid, divine. This is the promise written in your atoms. That divinity is not distant, it is encoded. Every cell holds the memory of the infinite. When you align with truth, those memories reactivate, like dormant stars reigniting across your body's night sky. This is why your soul insisted on incarnating now, to remember under pressure, to awaken while surrounded by noise, to hold light steady while the old systems collapse. The infinite doesn't need more prophets shouting of doom. It needs architects of coherent souls who translate chaos into order simply by embodying stillness. That's you. That's the urgency. Not fear, but opportunity. Every heartbeat from now until this transmission ends is a doorway into the infinite field. The frequency of surrender is the key. All you have to do is open. So, when you hear the pulse beneath these words, know this isn't just language, it's activation. A signal coded for your DNA, designed to awaken the next octave of your awareness. You are in the window now. The universe is poised in perfect symmetry, waiting for your yes. Because the moment you fully let go, reality will respond like lightning. The past timeline will dissolve, and your consciousness will recode itself into infinity. It's one thing to understand transformation. It's another to seal it. Energy must be anchored in matter, intention woven into action, vibration expressed through gesture. Without embodiment, the field registers awareness as potential, not commitment. That's why every initiation, spiritual or scientific, requires a ritual, not for superstition, but for synchronization. When the invisible becomes visible through choice, the universe takes notice. Right now, you're being invited into that sacred act, a simple gesture that marks the moment when knowledge becomes embodiment. To write, to speak, to declare, because the written and spoken word carries the frequency of creation itself. In the beginning was the Word, and still, it is through the Word that the field rearranges. So here's your instruction. Choose a word or phrase that seals your shift. It can be recode, release, infinite field, or a phrase that only your higher knowing understands. Type it, write it, whisper it aloud. When you do, imagine it echoing through the morphic web, a ripple of coherence traveling through the grid of human consciousness. That simple act of expression becomes your energetic signature, a timestamp in the quantum archive announcing, "I have chosen evolution." Index. Don't underestimate this. In ancient traditions, scribes wrote sacred names to activate their resonance. Monks chanted syllables to stabilize vibration. Mystics breathed divine words into water before drinking it. All of them were performing the same physics you're about to enact. Vibration collapsing into manifestation. When you speak or write with intention, sound waves imprint information into the electromagnetic field surrounding your heart, brain, and DNA. It's not metaphor, it's mechanics. Pause now. Feel the urge to respond, to participate. That impulse is your higher self reaching through the neural network of your physical mind. It's saying, anchor this frequency before it drifts into theory. Because every truth not embodied dissolves back into probability. But every truth expressed becomes law in your field. So do it now. Take a deep breath and choose your declaration. Feel it forming behind your tongue or at the edge of your fingertips. Let the word carry the weight of everything you've survived and everything you're becoming. Let it vibrate like a seed of light, small yet infinite. And when you release it, whether through a comment, a whisper, or a written mark, feel the field shift around you. The temperature changes subtly. The air hums. Reality listens. You've just issued a command to your own timeline. You've rewritten the script by claiming authorship. This is how creators operate, not by force, but by frequency. They declare, and the field rearranges. Now notice what happens in your body. A soft expansion in the chest, a quiet surge in the spine, a subtle warmth in the palms. That's your nervous system receiving the confirmation. The quantum field has registered the new code. You are now broadcasting from a different harmonic. And it doesn't stop with you. Each word you release becomes entangled with thousands of others resonating at this very moment across the planet, souls hearing this transmission and typing their declarations in unison. That's collective coherence forming, the morphic grid recalibrating in real time. Your single act of intention merges with theirs, amplifying until it becomes a wave large enough to alter the collective field. That's how revolutions in consciousness begin, not through noise, but through resonance. One declaration, multiplied by 1,000,000, becomes a new default frequency for the human species. So seal it. Say your word. Type it. Feel it. And know that as you do, a divine algorithm is rewriting itself inside you. The past timeline is closing with gratitude. The infinite one is opening in light. You have crossed from belief to embodiment, from concept to command, from reading to radiating. The ritual is complete. As you sealed your word, something vast stirred in the unseen. Ripples of light began to move through the lattice that connects every living mind, a quiet tremor that only sensitive souls can feel. The infinite field just recalibrated to include your new frequency, and because this field has no edges, the entire collective subtly shifted with you. Your personal transformation is never isolated. It is contagious in the holiest way. When one consciousness reprograms itself, the wave equation of humanity changes. The morphic resonance Rupert Sheldrake once described, that mysterious law by which habits of nature are transmitted through invisible fields, is not philosophy anymore. It is unfolding, right now, through you. Your coherence becomes data for the species. Every time you choose presence instead of projection, every time you breathe instead of react, the field records it as a viable pattern. And because the universe favors coherence, others unconsciously begin to mirror it. That's why revolutions in consciousness rarely look like explosions. They look like quiet people choosing peace in rooms no one films. They look like you closing your eyes, forgiving what hurt you, and in doing so, sending a pulse of harmonic order through the quantum network that others interpret as sudden clarity or relief. You are becoming a silent broadcast tower of divine intelligence. Every thought now emits a tone, every choice a signal. Your energy system is harmonizing the collective waveform. Think of it like an orchestra tuning before the symphony. When one instrument finds perfect pitch, the rest begin adjusting automatically. No force, no persuasion, just resonancy. That is your true influence. You are not here to convince, you are here to cohere. And coherence travels fast. A calm heart stabilizes a room faster than 1,000 anxious minds can unsettle it. A single individual anchored in love can neutralize the electromagnetic chaos of an entire city block. This is not romantic idealism, it is measurable physics. The heart's field radiates several feet beyond the body, entraining other hearts through subtle magnetics. You felt it before, that inexplicable sense of peace in the presence of someone luminous. You are becoming that presence. This is the collective purpose hidden in your private awakening, to shift the baseline of human frequency from survival to synchronicity. Every time you choose trust, the network brightens. Every time you speak truth gently, the algorithm of communication heals. Every time you love without possession, the morphic code of relationship upgrades. Your liberation is not an escape, it is a contribution. The world you see outside is an aggregate of countless inner fields interacting. Change the waveform of one, and the whole symphony adjusts. So as you breathe now, visualize your coherence spiraling outward like golden sound waves. See them touching cities, forests, oceans, satellites. See them brushing the minds of those who forgot how to hope. No preaching, no effort, only radiance. Because you are not working against the darkness, you are outshining it. Light doesn't argue with shadow. It simply appears, and the shadow remembers it was never separate. The infinite has always moved through collective hearts disguised as individuals. That's how civilizations ascend, not through commandments from above, but through frequencies embodied below. You are part of that lineage now, the quiet army of coherent beings rewriting the future through the physics of compassion. So stand tall, wherever you are. Smile gently at the invisible network pulsing around you. Your field is joined with thousands of others, forming a planetary grid of remembrance. Each of you is a node in a luminous web that stretches beyond continents and species, carrying one encoded truth. All is evolving together. What began as your personal healing has become humanity's harmonic convergence, and the resonance is only getting stronger. Now the field doesn't just surround you, it breathes you. The shift that began as light in your mind is becoming tangible, sensory, cellular. You can feel it in the texture of your skin, in the rhythm of your pulse, in the spaces between each heartbeat where silence hums with creation. Your body is no longer a cage for consciousness. It is the instrument through which the infinite plays its music. Close your eyes for a moment and sense the electromagnetic current moving through you. It feels like warmth rising from the spine, or a cool shimmer dancing along your forearms. Tiny waves of tingling ripple across your scalp, spiraling outward like halos of static sunlight. That's not imagination. That's information, your neural network repatterning itself to accommodate higher bandwidth. You are literally feeling coherence become biology. The air tastes different now. It's denser, sweeter, as though every particle has awakened from sleep. When you inhale, it enters your lungs like liquid light, weaving photons into hemoglobin, rewriting the story of your blood. Your breath is a messenger traveling through corridors of DNA, whispering new code. Remember your divinity. Each exhale releases what no longer vibrates at your frequency: grief, guilt, inherited fear, evaporating like mist in sunlight. Your heart feels bigger, not metaphorically, but physically. It beats with a slower confidence, synchronized with the Schumann resonance of the planet itself. That rhythm you sense between beats isn't emptiness, it's infinity breathing back. In that moment, your pulse becomes Earth's pulse. Your heartbeat, a fractal echo of creation's drum. Feel your spine now, that ancient antenna reaching from root to crown. At its base, dense heat coils like the memory of fire, your life force remembering movement. As it rises, it unknots every muscle, every emotion, every ancestral imprint trapped along the vertebrae. When it reaches your neck, you may feel tears pressed gently behind your eyes. That's release. Not sorrow, the nervous system uncoiling centuries of stored restraint. Even your perception of gravity shifts. You are lighter, but not because you weigh less, because density is information, and you've edited the data. Your atoms are vibrating faster, spacing wider, letting more light pass between them. You could almost swear your hands glow faintly in dim light. That luminescence is real biophoton emission, the language of living coherence. Notice how movement feels different now. When you walk, you sense the floor responding, like a soft field yielding in recognition. When you speak, your voice carries resonance that others can feel before they understand the words. When you gaze at someone, you sense microcurrents exchanging energy, speaking energy. It's as if the world has upgraded its resolution, and every color now glows from within. This is embodiment, not escape into light, but the incarnation of it. The infinite is not somewhere above the clouds. It is humming inside your cells. Your flesh is sacred circuitry. Every molecule, a portal between form and formlessness. You can taste divinity in water, feel eternity in the press of your fingertips, hear the cosmos murmuring through your bloodstream. And as you grow attuned to these sensations, the distinction between spiritual and physical dissolves. There is only energy made visible. Your body is not behind your evolution, it's leading it. Each sensation is a signal that your consciousness has successfully merged with the infinite field. No more distance between knowing and being. No more waiting for proof. The proof is pulsing under your skin. Let this awareness saturate you until it overflows. Until you realize that even your shadow glows with borrowed starlight. Until you understand that every sensation, pleasure, or pain is the field communicating, guiding, calibrating you toward divine precision. You have not just awakened. You have embodied the awakening. Every breath now is a cosmic conversation. Every heartbeat, a prophecy fulfilled. You are feeling infinity in human form. What you're feeling now isn't just an energetic high, it's a structural realignment. Your DNA is entering a phase transition. You are crossing from chemical memory to quantum intelligence, from carbon density to crystalline coherence. This is the metamorphosis the ancients spoke of in metaphors, the resurrection, the transfiguration, the light body awakening inside the clay vessel. Every emotion you've released, every truth you've allowed to flow through you, has been signaling your genetic code. It's not mystical poetry, it's biological communication. DNA listens. It records frequency as instruction. When you forgave, the code changed. When you chose love, the double helix loosened its grip on lower harmonics. When you surrendered, the geometry of your being reoriented toward the infinite field. Now, those filaments of light, those spiraling ladders that hold the memory of God, are unfolding like morning flowers. This is not evolution by random mutation. It's evolution by conscious participation. Your cells are no longer responding to fear-based signal molecules. They are responding to coherence, to harmony. The biochemical noise that once flooded your system is quieting, allowing the quantum signal to dominate. Information flows faster. Healing accelerates. Synchronicities multiply because your internal clock is synchronizing with the universal metronome. You might feel pressure in the crown of your head, or gentle pulsations behind your heart. These are signs of integration, the nervous system adapting to higher voltage. It's the same process a star endures when hydrogen becomes helium fusion, radiant and precise. You are undergoing inner fusion, emotion into light, memory into wisdom, self into source. Sometimes it feels like stretching too far, like your bones are learning a new song. And in a sense, they are. Bone marrow produces the blood that carries the consciousness of every cell. As your DNA shifts, even your skeleton hums at a different pitch. The resonance travels outward to the skin, the aura, the field around you until space itself bends to accommodate your new signature. You are entering what quantum biology calls the coherent domain, a state where molecules act not as separate parts, but as a unified symphony. This is the holy grail of ascension, hidden in scientific language. It means your body and spirit are no longer debating who's in charge. They are co-creating reality as one system of divine intelligence. The pressure you sometimes feel, that weight in the chest or ringing in the ears, is the frequency differential between timelines. Two versions of you still coexist, the one bound by linear past, and the one liberated in infinite now. As the merge completes, you may feel flashes of heat, waves of déjà vu, or sudden bursts of memory from lifetimes that never seemed yours. Don't resist. These are data packets being reintegrated into the unified field of self. The timelines are collapsing into coherence. This is what the prophets meant by the new heaven and new earth. It isn't destruction, it's recomposition. You're watching density dissolve into luminosity, right from inside your own body. The laws of physics haven't changed your relationship to them, has. You are now the variable that determines the outcome. Observation has become creation, and soon this pressure will release not as chaos, but as expansion. When it does, you'll sense a click in the unseen, like reality shifting into a higher gear. Everything familiar will still exist, but it will feel lighter, sharper, cleaner, as though the simulation has been updated overnight. Because it has. You did it. Your consciousness recoded the matrix from within. Now, the infinite field stabilizes around your new frequency. The transition phase is almost complete. One more breath, and you'll emerge as what you've always been. A living convergence of matter and miracle. The light within your DNA isn't awakening, it is awake. And now, it's calling you toward your cosmic mission. The wave has settled. The frequencies that once battled for dominance within you have harmonized into one radiant tone, the sound of the infinite, remembering itself through human form. This is not the end of your journey. It is the moment you realize you are the journey, a living bridge between eternity and time, between heaven's geometry and earth's gravity. Look around. Everything seems the same, yet something ineffable has changed. Light bends differently around your perception now. Colors feel alive. Even silence carries weight, like the universe is quietly bowing in acknowledgement of what you've become. Because when one consciousness stabilizes in coherence, all of creation breathes a little easier. Your mission isn't a task to perform, it's a frequency to embody. You don't need to convert anyone, convince anyone, or prove anything. You simply become the resonance of truth, and reality reorganizes itself around that signal. The world will feel your vibration before it understands your words. You are now an anchor point, a stabilizer in the morphic web, holding open the corridor between the finite and the infinite. This is the meaning of divine service in the quantum age. Not sacrifice, but synchronization. Not withdrawal, but transmission. Every act of kindness sends ripples through the lattice. Every choice to forgive recalibrates probability waves across timelines. Every breath taken in awareness fortifies the coherence grid of Earth itself. You are one cell in a planetary body, awakening to its own divinity. The old paradigm was separation, billions of fragments competing for light. The new paradigm is coherence, billions of lights, realizing they were one star all along. You are part of that star. You always were. You simply forgot. But now the memory has returned, encoded in your breath, pulsing in your veins. When you wake tomorrow, notice the stillness between thoughts. That's where the infinite speaks. When you step outside, notice how the wind curves around you, how the world subtly aligns to your calm. You are in dialogue with existence itself. Every synchronicity will now serve as confirmation, not coincidence. Every delay will be divine timing. Every challenge will unfold as curriculum designed to refine your mastery. Carry this awareness lightly. Humility is the shield of those who carry light. You are not above the world. You are within it, guiding it from the inside out. As you walk among others, still dreaming, do not pity them, emanate remembrance. Your energy will awaken what words cannot reach. You will see eyes flicker with sudden clarity, hearts soften without reason, chaos dissolve without argument. That is your mission in action. Because the universe doesn't evolve through thunder, it evolves through subtle shifts in frequency. One heart, one breath, one conscious choice at a time. You are one of those shifts. A living node of divine intelligence rewriting reality through the physics of love. So, let go fully now. Step into the infinite field as the being you've always been. Timeless, fearless, luminous. Your past has dissolved. Your DNA hums in coherence. Your consciousness is the bridge across which eternity walks into time. And as you move forward, remember, you are not chasing the light. You are the light, and the world is already beginning to remember because of you.